because that child has like a genetic muscular disorder. And they're so echo chambered. Like Israel accounts are so unimaginably echo chambered that they literally think the best counter to a now infamous photo is to say Israel isn't just starving all children. I mean, Israel isn't just starving like healthy children. Israel is starving children with like genetic diseases as well. Israel is starving children that have debilitating genetic diseases. It's one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Like, you have to be completely out of your mind. Hamas's fake narrative exposed truth about the Gazan child who made global headlines. Israel officials confirm 5-year-old Osama al-Rakab suffers from genetic diseases, not a war-related starvation. Gaza starvation poster child has genetic condition. Starved Gaza child suffers from genetic illness. Kojat, a photo of a 5-year-old Osama al-Rakab has gone viral, used to falsely depict Israel as responsible for his condition, claiming Israel starving children. The facts: Osama suffers from serious genetic illness unrelated to the war. On June 12, we actively coordinated Osama's exit from Gaza with his mother and brother to the Ramon airport. He's now receiving treatment in Italy. That last part is also fake. I don't think that that's what's going on anyway. It's so crazy because there are so many starving people, like so many starving children. There are a ton of different photos of starving babies, starving parents, the doctors, the healthcare professionals, and people that work for Oxfam that are the people that are not supposed to be starving under any circumstance. No one is supposed to be starving, but like doctors especially are not supposed to be losing weight in a fucking battlefield. Okay? Remember, they are a special status. We are talking about like Americans and Westerners who supposedly have special status in this circumstance. Like the reason why they go to this field of battle, this war, this genocide, is specifically because they use their bodies and the special status that they have in the eyes of the international community to, as a human shield, to like defend the civilian population. Everyone is starving. Hostages are starving. I've never seen something like this before. Like, I've never seen an instance where like a Doctors Without Borders doctor is visibly skinnier, gaunt, week after week. Children who suffer from illnesses such as cerebral palsy have been cut off from the medicine, food, and care they need. Thanks to Israel's blockade being the most vulnerable, they will visibly starve and die first, as we are witnessing. Somehow, this is hard to grasp for Israelis. These kids are both suffering from illness, but you would never know that from how the media is telling their stories. Like, dude, they are also starving. Okay? Your argument is, no, you don't understand. Israel is not just starving all children. No, you don't understand. Israel is not just starving children with no illnesses. We are starving children with illnesses as well. I'm sorry. The only way you can find this to be like an appropriate deflection is if you're insane. If you have surrounded yourself with psychopaths, and no one at no point says, hey, this is fucked up. They just post that shit for the Israelis at this point. They aren't trying to make sense to anyone else. No, there are people who eat this bait. Like Megaphonics just said his mother believed it. You know what I mean? It's just like there's a lot of people who are motivated into turning a blind eye to these atrocities. You just got to drop them. There's like not much you can do as far as like convincing them. That's it. Focus your efforts on people who you can convince. Can't even wrap my head around the fact that we live in the same world with shit Israelis. I mean, there are plenty of evil people, man. What are you talking about? There's a lot of evil people out there. This kind of journalism doesn't help Gazans, but it does get Jews killed. Truth is nothing to fear unless you're part of a movement that's based on lies. Yeah, thank you for revealing your truth, Hen Mazig. The truth that Israel is starving everyone, including children with genetic disabilities. Wow, that's awesome. The point is this. Okay, if people look at this, this is Ta-Nehisi Coates, who very correctly pointed out and said, the Democratic Party doesn't care about genocide. What makes you think they care about democracy? A party that actually contributes to an ongoing genocide and refuses to address it is not a party that is going to defend your liberties either. You are stupid for thinking that the Democrats would turn around and like defend democracy or defend your civil liberties here in the United States of America against like fascist forces, because they obviously have no problem with these images. These images did not occur overnight. Famine doesn't start overnight. That's not how it works. So it's been really strange watching all of these. It's been really strange watching these people, like, you know, the Matty Iglesias of the world or whatever the fuck, be like, oh, well, it just happened. Starvation doesn't set in overnight. People are trying to save face and act as though those who were warning as the famine has started were in the wrong for highlighting the plight of the Palestinians. That's the other side, which is that we're not making this shit up. We're simply communicating, offering a megaphone to the Palestinians themselves, who are talking about the experiences that they're going through. Okay? But they can't say that. They can't get mad. I guess, like, unless you're Israeli, you can't openly be like, fuck this Palestinian, you know what I mean, who's dying in a genocide. So you just say, oh, fuck the left for highlighting this and making me mad. It's like, well, you don't seem too mad about the situation. You seem more mad about me telling you what's going on, right? So, yeah, This is depraved and obscene even by normal Matt Iglesias standards, simultaneously smug, massively fucking dumb, racist, nibbling, and ass covering. Palestinians are simply incapable of being witness to their own genocide. They're all liars, but an Israeli says it now, so it's time to listen up. I would recommend this from Haviv Retigor and the Free Press to the skeptics. There's been some crying wolf that has unfortunately poisoned the waters to an extent, but the wolves are now, in fact, here. What an insane way to fucking do an about face here, which is not even an about face at all. It's basically saying, like, the only time I'll believe that there is mass starvation happening is if an Israeli says it's happening. If someone who's pro-Israel, who is saying that the starvation is real, that's the only time I'll believe it. Yeah.
If they didn't have the hostages, things would go very quickly. But they do, and we know where they have them in some cases, and you don't want to go riding roughshod over that area because that means those hostages will be killed. Now, there are some people that would say, well, that's the price you pay, but we don't like to say that. We don't want to say that. And I don't think the people of Israel want to say that either, which is pretty amazing. A lot of people would say, just get it done and whatever it is. You could also say speed might be better for the hostages. You go through, with speed, you may have a better chance because they're in deep trouble. They're in deep trouble. You saw October 7th, and you saw what the damage and the horror that they committed. People can't forget that. They tend to forget it, but they can't forget. That was one of the most evil things I've ever seen.
Yeah. October 7th, one of the most evil things I've ever seen. 22 months of October 7th, twice a week. Not that evil because the other side is brown and scary. They deserve it. That's it. That's what it is. That's all this is. It's fucking insane.
And you just cannot forget that. So we're very much involved. The Prime Minister's involved. I'm involved. And I think I can speak. We just signed a very big trade deal, the biggest of them all yesterday, right? And The European Union is very much involved in wanting to help with the Palestinians in terms of getting people fed. But the area of Gaza, another way of defining it is the area of Gaza. It's a very troubled place, and it has been for many, many years. It has been for many decades. So it's not like this just happened. This has been going on for a long period of time. So that's it. Our hearts are in the right place. We have some good news because the recent war that you just saw, they just announced, I see, the newest of the 5, now this would be 6 that we've stopped. I've stopped 6 wars in the last, I'm averaging about a war a month, but the last 3 were very close together. India and Pakistan and a lot of them. Congo was just, and Rwanda was just done. But you probably know, I won't go into it very much because I don't know the final numbers yet. I don't know. Numerous people were killed, and I was dealing with 2 countries that we get along with very well, very different countries from certain standpoints. They've been fighting for 500 years, intermittently, and we solved that war. You probably saw it just came out over the wire, so we solved it through trade. I said, I don't want to trade with anybody that's killing each other, so we just got that one solved. And I'm going to call the 2 prime ministers who I got along with very, very well and speak to them right after this meeting and congratulate them. But it was an honor to be in.
I feel like I talk about this so much that it's like a fucking broken record. But it's probably not good for overall discourse when you have the president from the bully pulpit consistently lying. Like, even outside of the moral depravity, the moral rot, it's got to be strange. Like, I don't know what it does to our like understanding of the truth in general when the president will just be like, yes, oh, these trade deals are fantastic. Why? Because there's they're giving us $500 quintillion. Okay. Oh, I stopped this war. I stopped that war. This war was going on for 1,000 years and I stopped it. Like, none of the things he's saying are correct. The only things he can like hold up as accomplishments for his administration are just shit that he cooks up seemingly on the spot. Things that he is not necessarily putting a lot of thought into. Very strange behavior, very strange set of circumstances.
Involved in that was a.
Could you explain why he's wrong? Not a Trump guy, just curious. He did not stop any actual fucking war. Like, that's not real. That's what it is. Like, when he says the Japanese trade deal is fantastic for us, he's saying that he got an IOU from Japan. And when you dive into like the details of the IOU, okay, it's actually not $500 billion. It's just Japanese companies adding investment back into Japanese companies. It's not like they're opening up new facilities or anything like that. Like, he just lies about everything. It's no different than saying, like, I found unicorns. Unicorns are real. I found them, and I'm breeding them. I'm breeding them left and right. You can see them everywhere. Okay. I mean, you can choose to believe it. Or maybe you can, like, look into it, right? You can look into it a little bit further and realize that, oh, he's just talking about horses. Like, those are just horses. And they were there already. There are no unicorns. He did not even, like... he didn't even like slap a fucking cone on the top of the horse's head to make it look like a unicorn. He's just claiming. He's just claiming that there are unicorns now. That's it. Every positive thing that he can hold up that his administration supposedly did is just completely made up. He's just making it up. What does that do to discourse in general? What does that do to our understanding of the truth? Just one of the many different ways in which the administration, I think, is just like destroying everything. Like, I don't know.
It was going to be a very nasty war. Those wars have been very, very nasty. So we've done a lot of good work. We've had great support from the Prime Minister anytime we needed help, anytime we needed any form of support. You've been there. We appreciate it very much. Absolutely. And we're going to continue onward. We do have to take care of the humanitarian needs at what they used to call the Gaza Strip. You don't hear that line too much anymore. You don't hear the Gaza Strip, but it is the Gaza Strip, and it's amazing. It's not being handled a little bit differently. We're going to set up food centers, and we're going to do it in conjunction with some very good people, and we're going to supply funds. And we just took in trillions of dollars. We got a lot of money, and we're going to spend a little money on some food. And other nations are joining us. I know your nation's joining us, and we have all of the European nations joining us, and others also have called, and they want to be helpful. So we're going to set up food centers and where the people can walk in and no boundaries. We're not going to have fences, and they can't. They see.
Oh, no more GHF aid trap. Is that what's going on? I don't think so. By the way, I don't think that that'll happen. For the record, but we'll see. I don't trust anything he's saying. I'm gonna be honest. On the real though, how is fucking Trump? How the fuck is Trump posturing on Gaza better than AOC is? Like, that is unacceptable. I don't think he is. I don't think that's the case. I think your expectation from AOC is understandably much higher than Donald Trump, which is why you're reacting this way. But AOC has said all this stuff. It's not enough.
See the food from 30 you would say, yards away, and they see the food. It's all there, but nobody's at it because they have fences set up that nobody can even get it. It's crazy what's going on over there. So we're going to work very closely together with your country, a great country. We also discussed inside that we are, there's a whole new thing happening with regard to energy from nuclear. Yeah. And the Prime Minister's looking at that very strongly. And I know you have Rolls-Royce nuclear plants. That sounds pretty good, right? I love that. What a great brand that is. But you're also doing the Rolls-Royce or the nuclear plants, the smaller plants. We're doing smaller and bigger, but the small is interesting. They do a small plant, very easy, very safe, and as they need more, they hook up another plant, and they have a series of plants instead of, doing the $20 billion plant. That gets tough for a lot of people to do. So we're just studying that. It sounds like you're very far progressed, but that's a great thing you're doing on nuclear. We opened up nuclear about 2 months ago, and it's now safe and very inexpensive.
No, we see civil nuclear as a big part of the future as we go to sustainable, independent energy. And I think that between the two of us, we can work very much more closely on this. And we've agreed that that's our ambition, that's our aspiration. And this is going to be a big part of the future when it comes to energy. And you can see in the last few years, energy has been weaponized. Prices have dictated both families and businesses across the United Kingdom, and therefore taking control of energy is a huge prize. So the more we can work together on this, the better. And small modular reactors are a very big part of the future here, and we've got great companies like Rolls-Royce involved in that. So I'm very much looking forward to working together with you, Mr. President.
We'll do that. We'll do that. We're going up to your oil capital in a little while. We're going up to Aberdeen. That's called the oil capital of Europe. And that's a great asset that you have up there someday. If they ever change their thinking on that, you have a great and valuable asset. There's a lot of valuable resources underground there, but that's a decision for you to make. But it's a very amazing place, and it is considered the oil capital of Europe. So it's another option that you have. So we are doing really well as a country, and I think that the Prime Minister has been so supportive of us, and so strong and so respected, and I respect him much more today than I did before because I just met his wife and family. He's got a perfect wife and family, and that's never easy to achieve, right? But
I take no credit for that.
But he's become a friend, and together we got a deal done that has not been able to be done. It was a deal that's very good for both parties.
A really good deal for both of our countries, and very, very well received here in the United Kingdom.
So thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Any questions?
Mr. President, on Russia, earlier you said that you were going to change the deadline from 50 days.
Yeah.
What is your new deadline?
I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today. There's no reason in waiting. There's no reason in waiting. It's 50 days. I want to be generous, but we just don't see any progress being made.
Mr. President, you just talked about setting up food centres in conjunction with other organisations.
Right.
You're talking about the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation or recognised.
I wish every world leader handled him like Jerome Powell did last week. They can't, because Jerome Powell has a lot more power over the American economy and therefore a lot more power over Donald Trump. Other world leaders would also have a lot more power over Donald Trump if they actually coordinated, collaborated, and maybe even hedged their bets against Donald Trump by having more positive relationships with China. But they're too fearful to do that, so they're just continuing along the vassal state mentality. Sorry, Keir didn't quite get that. Your tongue in Trump's ass? What? How does Trumpito sound so low energy? He's just tired like me. He's just tired like your boy. That's what it is.
Aid agencies. How will this work?
Well, it's going to be working with the United States. We'll be helping with the food. You know, we have a lot of access to food. We got a lot of food ourselves, and we're going to bring it over there. We're also going to make sure that they don't have barriers stopping people. You know, you've seen the areas where they actually have food, and the people are screaming for the food, and they're 35, 40 yards away, and they won't let them because they have lines that are set up. And whether they're set up by Hamas or whoever, but they're very strict lines, so we have to get rid of those lines. But we're going to be getting some good, strong food. We can save a lot of people. I mean, some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it. And
yeah, there's real starvation stuff. Yeah, there's like, well, at least he is recognizing that there is real starvation stuff happening in the Gaza Strip. That's crazy. Oh my God. So many sources for discussion and news on Palestine is now blocked in the UK with the Online Safety Act. Yeah, I've heard about this as well. We'll cover that later. The UK is completely out of control. I mean, we're gonna get that. We're getting there as well. So fantastic stuff. It's great. Love living in the Western liberal democracy that is supposed to not allow things like this to happen ever. It's great. Fantastic.
you can't fake that. So we're going to be even more involved. We did some airlifts before, some airdrops, and the people are running for it. And the Prime Minister is going to help us. They're very effective with that. You've done that before, and for many. They've done that for 100 years very well. So it's not very hard to do, actually. Yes.
President, you say you love Scotland. You're the most Scottish president
Yeah,
ever
sure, you can come in,
White
yeah.
House. Is there a better deal to be done for Scotland, for Scottish industry and the deal that you've done with the Prime Minister?
The tip of it is coming
Christie,
on.
for example.
Well, I have great love for Scotland.
Mike.
You know, my mother loved Scotland, and she loved the Queen. I don't know, I might hurt myself by saying that the monarchists are going to like it. Some other
yeah, I
people,
drank it already.
but she loved the Queen. Whenever the Queen was on television, she wanted to watch. And she would come back religiously. She'd come back to Scotland once a year with my sister Marion, primarily, and sometimes my sister Elizabeth also. But they loved this part of the world. And, you know, we're talking about the Isle of Lewis. We're talking about serious Scotland. That's serious Scotland. There was no doubt about it. So, yeah, it gives me a feeling, you know, it's different. You go to another country, you have no relationship to it. You get to like maybe the head of the country or something. But it's different when your mother was born here, Stornoway, right in Stornoway, a beautiful little place.
Is there a better deal to be done for
It's so hard looking at him after that movie, dude.
because of your love of
Yeah, we watched The Apprentice last night, and it's strange. It's strange seeing Trump in the flesh after seeing, what's his name?
Sebastian Stan, who killed it.
who played a really convincing young Trump for sure.
I was very impressed. Him and Jeremy Strong both killed it. But yeah, no, this is like very. I just see Sebastian Stan right now.
Yeah. Freaky.
Scotland. Is there a better
Oh, but Selim finally said Israel's
I
committing
saw.
a genocide.
The
which
New York
is-
Times did a push alert about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now that B'Tselem has said it, I'm sure the New York Times will take it more serious. Israel increasingly took over the steering wheel of America's foreign policy and its interventions in the region. They took the driving seat, okay? They took the driver's seat and they started driving the car. That's for sure. And Biden did not scale that back in any capacity. As a matter of fact, he put his fucking foot on the gas. He basically took Israel's leg and pushed it down, okay? Slammed it. But ultimately, we're in the car together. That's it. So the idea that Trump is mad or whatever, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Trump could get more mad in the future if it becomes like a bigger problem, if it becomes a bigger issue, right? If there are more consequences for this allegiance, then maybe Trump will scale back or force Israel to scale back. Okay. But once again, that requires continued pressure. That requires Trump's base to feel some type of way. Okay? Here's Barack Ravid reporting on Trump's statement. There's real starvation in Gaza. You can't fake that. That was one of the craziest things I saw, at least. I saw a New York Post report and even heard from some Hasbara accounts that were trying to say, oh, that famous photo of the starving child is actually fake. Why is it fake?